Hello everybody. This week's lesson is about the difference between British and American English. Now, when I first began teaching English many years ago, the question that my students often asked me was, what is the difference between British and American English? Now, there are lots of technical and very complicated answers that teachers sometimes give to this question. But the real answer is, it's the same language. Whether you speak it in Britain, whether you speak it in America, whether you speak it in a European country, an Asian country, English is English. Now, obviously there are differences, okay? But today I don't want to get into too many technical details, okay? When people ask me this question, I usually answer by giving them a very simple comparison. Think about Spanish, okay? Now, if you are a Spanish speaker, when you hear a person speaking Spanish, a person from Spain, okay, from the European country, from Spain, when they speak Spanish, it often sounds different. It often sounds strange to a person who comes from Latin America because they speak Latin American Spanish, okay? But both people, the Spanish person and the Latin American, can understand each other perfectly, okay? An American and a British person, we understand each other. There is no difference between the two languages, except for a few details that we're going to discuss now. Okay, so first of all, I want you to think about your language, okay? Think about the country where you live. Now, think about the different accents, the different pronunciations that you find within your country. People from certain provinces or people from certain cities pronounce words in a different way, perhaps. Or they have a different tone, a different intonation when they speak. Okay, this also happens with Americans and British. There is a difference between American pronunciation and British pronunciation. We're not going to get technical now, okay? But British people pronounce very clearly, we enunciate almost all of the sounds, okay? But Americans, they have a different pronunciation. British people, we pronounce our vowel sounds from our throats. All of our vowel sounds are articulated using the articulators found at the back of our mouth in our throat. Whereas the Americans, their pronunciation sounds much more nasal, okay? But we understand each other. A learner of English who has a good level of English will understand an American or a British person once their ear has got used to the specific pronunciations. It's like when you hear somebody from a different region in your country speaking, sometimes you have to think and calculate and then you understand what they said, okay? The second difference between British and American English is a small difference in grammar, the use of tenses. Now again, American and British English are the same language. Okay, the grammar is basically the same. But sometimes Americans will choose to use a simple past tense rather than a present perfect tense, for example. And a British person will usually choose the present perfect tense wherever it is applicable. Okay? The third difference has to do with vocabulary items. Okay? Now, if you are a Spanish speaker, you probably know that, for example, avocado, the vegetable, the fruit, is called aguacate in Mexico. Whereas in Argentina, they call it palta. But an Argentinian and a Mexican will soon solve the problem of what an aguacate or a palta is using other linguistic tools. Okay, so here now at the end of this video I have left some lists of the vocabulary items that are different between British and American English. For example, in Britain we say lift, in America they say elevator. In Britain, for example, we say rubbish, and in America they say trash. But once you have learnt to speak English at a proficient level, you will understand an American or a British person speaking English without too many problems. Okay, I hope that helped. Bye-bye. I hope that helped. See you next time. Oh, and don't forget to visit www.ingleshechofacil.consulta. You can find exercises to help you practice there. Bye.